So welcome one and all to a picturesque evening here. A clear night, all the ingredients for a showcase game that the passionate crowd demands. I'm Peter Drury, and it's my chance to say that it is an absolute delight to have Jim Beglin beside me.
Hi Peter, always good to work with you. I'm really looking forward to this now.
Wow, this truly is impressive. The future Camp Nou, it has been christened. A show of power, prominence, prestige for Barcelona. It is a true heavyweight clash.
Well, I wouldn't just look at this being another friendly, Peter.
Is that your own experience?
Yeah, if the opposition played like they meant business, we were obliged to return the favour. I don't think there's much difference here.
So it's down to business here. Who do you, Jim, see making the difference here?
Well, I really like the look of this fella, João Pedro, Peter. He has a lovely brand of flair, skillful, quick, composed, always looking to exploit spaces in and around them.
Here's a shot! Off target by a whisker. Lavia. Caicedo. And it's Gusto. And it's Fernandez. João Cancelo. Out of play for a throw. Now it's Dani Olmo. Pedro Neto. Now it's Dani Olmo. Stood up well to him there. Caicedo. Now it's Fernandez. Space for him to turn and look. Can he finish? Big relief, it just needed better contact.
Spirited to say the least. Certainly gave this crowd something to really cheer about.
Has a look up and drives it forward. Pedro Neto. And Fernandez. That's destined for the flank. Pedri. Now it's Dani Olmo. Rashford. Now it's Dani Olmo. Fofana makes the interception. Now it's João Pedro. João Pedro stood his ground strongly. Fernandez. And Lavia just eases him off the ball. Rashford. There's the crossfield ball. It's a pretty loose pass. Fernandez. Now it's Dani Olmo. Goes for the shot! Keeper's not concerned by that.
He just didn't catch that one right, and he knows it.
Hato. Cucurella. Over, just.
Well, I think the defence are breathing a big sigh of relief here. He really spanked that and it wasn't far away at all.
Lavia. So Jim, what have you made of what we've seen so far?
Well, I think both teams probably feel it's too early for either to start taking real risks. So they're still very much in a phase of testing the waters and sizing each other up.
Pedro Neto, and it's Cucurella, and Lavia engages and forces him off the ball. Pedro Neto. Cucurella has it in a wide position. Cucurella just loves to go forward whenever he can. Big chance! And he's quick to get rid. Plenty of endeavour from either side, but not much of it in the vicinity of either goal.
I actually think both teams are playing okay here. We've had some good attempts, although they've mounted to nothing so far.
He's looking wide. Fofana. Chelsea are inclined to exhibit a more cavalier approach to the game, Jim.
Yeah, possession-based football can be expansive and stylish, provided you have enough ballers in your team and someone who can dictate the tempo. It's not a style that anyone can necessarily play easily, Peter.
And Fofana, spread out to the left. Out for a throw. Kubasi. And it's Rashford. That's good running with the ball. He's shifting through the gears here. Fernandes. Fofana. Gusto. Caicedo. Bops him off it and wins back the ball. Now it's Dani Olmo. Excellent challenge there, uncompromising.
Dani Olmo really was well marshalled there because he was denied the opportunity to turn.
Oh, this looks sharp. And he's decided to go for it. A collective sigh of relief from the defence. Lavia. Fernandes. Shin to shin, bicep to bicep, and he wins out. Dani Olmo receives it in and the shot! Oh, terrific save from the keeper.
Dani Olmo clearly thought he had the beating of the keeper.
And we have our very first corner. That's really well cleared. Pedri crosses. Sanchez claims it without any fuss. Palmer. Fernandes. And Fofana. And it's Gusto. Now it's Palmer. Tries to pass it through. So no flag here. Gusto with a beautifully timed run.
Well, sometimes you can see it coming a mile off, yet because of the timing of both the run and the pass, it can be hard to stop. Always next time.
Palmer. Now it's Dani Olmo. Distributed tidily. Now it's Yamal. And the finish! No, just over.
Oh, he just got it ever so slightly wrong, Peter. There wasn't much in that at all.
Lavia. And Gusto. Palmer. Almost half an hour in now. Gusto. And it's Olmo. Hato kept his eye on it, and he's there. Pedro Neto. Fernandes. Now it's Dani Olmo. Played out to the left flank. And here's Dani Olmo.
Well, that's good defending. He squeezed the play and he gave him no chance to get on the turn.
Yamal does really well to win the ball there. That has not gone well. Lavia. And Fofana. And it's Gusto. Eric Garcia wins the duel this time. That is good progress on the left. And that's very disappointing, it has to be said. Now it's Dani Olmo. Pedro Neto. Fernandes. Rashford. And they're quick to get it back. Caicedo. Fernandes. And he's forced to go back. And Caicedo. And it's Lavia. Pedri did well to step in there. That was more than necessary. Caicedo. Now it's João Pedro. Now it's Pedro Neto. Now it's Dani Olmo. Cucurella. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Oh, well played, well sorted out. It's still 0-0, but no shortage of effort. Pedro Neto. Eric Garcia. And here's Dani Olmo. Fernandes. Lavia. Looking to pass their way up the pitch. That has been slung wide. And that is out of play.
That's alert and sharp and very well played.
Now it's Lopez. Lavia. Well, that pass isn't the best. Pedri. Now it's Rashford. We've got 5 minutes till half time. Fofana. Palmer. And it's Lopez. Played over towards the opposite flank. Fernandes. João Pedro. Now it's Fernandes. Eric Garcia does well to get it back. Cucurella. It's a good foot in there. Fernandes. Caicedo. Gusto. Nicely spread. Now it's Palmer. Rashford. Now it's Dani Olmo. The pressing's intense and it's paid off.
Habrá un minuto de descuento.
Now it's Dani Olmo. Now it's Lopez. Now it's Yamal. Caicedo. Lavia. And it's Palmer. Now it's João Pedro. And it's Gusto. Fermin. Now it's Dani Olmo. It's a good ball out wide. Yamal. And that is the end of the first half. It hasn't been a bad watch, not by any means. The intensity levels are there. We've just lacked that telling breakthrough moment. So your views on the first half?
I think it's been a decent enough watch despite the half stagnating a little, if I can put it that way, Peter. We want to see some of that craft we got to see earlier on in the game. Everyone's going to have to find a way to just up the standard again.
So both teams still stuck on the starting blocks here, 0-0 at the break. Gets us going once more.
Well, both sides are eager to get going. Here's hoping that it's a good sign. Things are about to change. We need a little more life in this.
Now it's Dani Olmo. Takes a shot. Delicious from Dani Olmo. A finish of true class. It is an explosive start to the second half. Oh, beautifully dispatched. There was no reaching that.
He had the whole picture in his head, Peter. He didn't even look at the goalkeeper.
So we have the first goal.
Well, talk about the perfect start to the second half. They've certainly come out with more purpose, more energy, and it's paid off beautifully.
Caicedo. Now it's João Pedro. Palmer. Great defending, strong and determined. He's had it taken off him. Now it's João Pedro. Now it's Dani Olmo. And he's had it nicked away. Now it's Dani Olmo. Hato. Gusto. Passing is crisp and sharp. Now it's Palmer. João Pedro pinches it off him. That is ended up in no man's land. Lavia. And Cucurella. Yamal producing a good steal there, showing a good level of alertness. Now it's João Pedro. It's a really well-measured ball. And he's been shifted off it. And it's Palmer. This looks promising. He's gone down, but the referee just tells him to get back up again. And he's managed to get free. Played back in. And straight back out. Oh, good take in a good area. And smartly reclaimed. Dani Olmo. Still no way through. The defending here is resolute. Palmer. Rashford gets a foot in here. And that has left him in a heap. That looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it. And that's going to be a booking. So time for change, and this one has been on the cards for a little while.
Well, he can certainly make his side a lot more unpredictable, Peter. You know, he has a very good eye for a pass, and a tricky one at that. Incentive set and incentive met. Now they've got to take it on another level.
Cucurella. Oh, he's been caught on it here. No, that's been intercepted. Barcelona are leading here through the only goal of the game, scored early in the second half, and the score is 1-0. Now it's João Pedro, and he welcomes it in, shapes to shoot! Wide, but only just.
He's not happy, and you'd expect that, but at least there's plenty of appreciation for what was a genuinely fine effort.
Dani Olmo being hounded, manhandled at times.
Yeah, they didn't smell the danger early enough, but I suppose better late than never.
Oh, can he get onto this? Hato promptly onto that, and that is that. Lavia knocks it into space, spread neatly.
That's just playing it safe and simple.
And no, that was never going to make it. Not the most accurate pass. He's felt that, hasn't he? Plenty of appeals, but the referee is not interested. Martin cuts it out. Lovely pass, but can he get there? Decent chance! Goal! They have grabbed themselves an equaliser.
Well, they were starting to look more and more threatening, Peter, so this comes as no surprise. The fans here are pretty fired up now.
Unstoppable. Just how do they contain him?
Pedro Neto demonstrated great strength there. I mean, he really had to hold his man off and just create enough room for him to be able to get the shot away. And I think it's just top play.
It's starting to look very interesting, this.
Well, I'd happily watch this every week, Peter. This is exactly what you want from a big game.
That's been cut out, well played. Fernandez. Now it's João Pedro. That has been cut short. Engages and forces him off the ball. Barcelona perhaps wondering what the best time is for their next substitution.
Yeah, and I think if you're looking for change in a tight game like this, Peter, it's all about getting the timing right.
Caicedo. Fofana. And it's Fernandez. Shin to shin, bicep to bicep, and he wins out. The ball is loose and the chase is on. Fermin finding himself in space. And here's Dani Olmo. Lavia. Caicedo. And Cucurella. He shifted it to the flank. And it's Fernandez. Now it's João Pedro. And it's Fernandez. Oh, he's getting hounded, really hounded. And that's a simple one for the keeper. Rusto. Now it's João Pedro. Caicedo. Fernandez. And the shot! And a neat finish. They've done it! It was coming! They have their reward! There was no getting to that. No getting to it at all. Expertly done.
Well, Peter, I think the keeper knew straight away he was never going to get to it.
Well, this is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's all happening now. There's been an upping of the intention and urgency, a real step up in possession and purpose now.
He's gone for goal. Gave it a go, but off target.
Yeah, it seemed the right range, and I guess it was worth a try. Right here, right now, it's not looking favourable. They're chasing the ball and the game.
Nicely weighted ball. Bumps him off it and wins back the ball. João Pedro was alert to the possibilities, but in the end it's fruitless. Now it's João Pedro. Pau Kubasi does really well to win the ball there. Looking for the run. Nice interception. His positioning was spot on. Spread it left. And that's been intercepted.
That's great positioning. So good from him. Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
Caicedo kept aware, and it is reclaimed easily. Fernandes. Palmer. He has found the way through. He's under a lot of pressure there. Yamal. Eric Garcia. And Fermin. Yamal. Well, there was an element of promise insofar as they kept the ball well, but they did very little with it. And here's Dani Olmo. Pedro Neto. And it's Caicedo. Now it's João Pedro. That is good pressure, just hounded him off it. Yamal. It's a good run he's making out on the left. Pass somewhat off target. Fernandes. Foot in. He's in a great position here. Barcelona very much running into the last chance saloon.
Well, whatever it is, Peter, it needs to be drastic and quick. Maybe the late show.
Well, that pass isn't the best. Now it's Dani Olmo.
Oh, really well played.
And no, he's seen through all of that. Caicedo. Lavia. Fofana. And Lavia. Fofana. And it's Fernandes. And it's Palmer. Into the last 5 minutes. Whistle's gone, that's a foul. The ref's been lenient here. I doubt he'll get too many more chances. Fofana. Not too much more here than seeing out time, and time is very nearly seen out. And Cucurella. That's going wide left. Pedro Neto. Fernandes, he is onto this. He's had it taken off him.
Se va a producir un cambio de jugadores.
There is some activity down on the touchline. It seems there's going to be a change.
Serán sustituidos por el dorsal 24.
Chelsea can really think about the precious seconds that took off the clock. No need to overly commit now. Well, at the moment, we're seeing an attempt to manage the advantage.
Christensen. João Cancelo. And it's Lopez.
Habrá
Caicedo.
2 minutos de descuento.
Fernandes looking to add to his goal. Now it's João Pedro. Time added on will be 2 minutes. Fernandes. And the referee brings it to a close. Well, what a game. Unpredictable to the very end. Momentum shifting this way and that. The kind of match, as neutrals, we all love to come and see. The end of the game. Reflections?
Well, Peter, this was probably more slugfest than a game of football, but I actually found it very enjoyable. A game that was constantly on the edge as both sides went full pelt trying to win this. A throwback to games gone by.